I just got to hit record. Before we zoomed, this was much easier.
You're live.
Oh, great. It's installing updates.
Oh.
Stand by. Off for transparency. There. Well, that's right. Maybe there's not coming. Usually when it installs. Okay, we are now convening the audit meeting. We have already done the pledge to the flag and the roll call. I'd say for a motion to town board accepts the agenda as prepared by the town supervisor with the addition of an agenda item. What was it we're asking for an explanation of, Larry?
Yeah.
Report with the addition of a report by Councilman Coleman and a now-in on their meeting. So
No, I wasn't looking for that. They did sort of some summary document, and I didn't know if that was going to be continued.
Well, let's just let them report out and then they can answer. So I'd ask for a motion to amend the agenda to add a report out from YouTube.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Now, Aaron and Michael, either one of you, if you want to report out.
Okay, great. Well, we on Sunday, July 24th, had a public information and question and answer session at 1 p.m. It was well attended. It had about 40 people come. We provided some summaries of the changes that were in the red lines, and we did a PowerPoint presentation to start. That was a general code educational session about what code is, what some of the terms mean, what some processes are. Then we did a summary of the legislative process that the board is going through and the specific process that we're going through. And then we just opened the circle up to discussion and questions. We were there for 2.5 hours, I think. And I reserved the community center for another one ahead of our next public hearings because we got a lot of people wanted to just keep going with that and really learn more about the local law drafts that we're considering. So if you would like copies of the summary documents we made, I think probably the people should just reach out to us directly since they're not official town documents. But we just wanted to hand out so people could follow along. But they're just bullet points of what their changes are in those.
And yes, we do plan on hopefully, doing more of them for the next public hearing. I don't know when we'll have time to do that. But the session went flawlessly. There's nothing to improve. Everything's fine. We're just going to keep getting out. We had a lot of great participation. I think we learned a lot about what format we can do. There was a lot of interest in talking specifically about the laws. So Aaron and I have discussed possibly trying to do recording if we ever find time when we both are free to record the presentation so that people can watch that to understand the process. And then hopefully we can put that up on YouTube. And then I think focusing specifically on questions and comments that they might have so that we can address some of those things ahead of time. Is kind of the goal of that. We want to keep it as free and open and discussion as possible. So we're not limiting it to the laws. If people have other questions, they can bring those up. But I think it went well. The other thing is, if other board members feel strongly that they want to attend, I think either of us would be willing to take a break and we can rotate in. But we're also happy to continue doing it.
If we have more than 3 board members, it has to be scheduled as a town board meeting. I was unavailable. Councilman Paddock was unavailable that day. Councilman Smiseth still has a newborn at home, and her schedule changes by the minute, literally. So we opted to not do it as a town board meeting, which meant that only 2 members could attend. If a third attended, it would have to be then advertised as an open meeting. It's meant to be an informational session. We will continue to try to do these. Any discussion that comes out of those meetings, certainly the council members who are there are bringing that information back to the table when the town board discusses all these local laws. So this is a work in progress that will continue for the next several months. It's not going to be, oh, this was the only time you could talk or offer comment. People have a lot of questions, individual questions we can certainly answer offline.
The other thing we did stress was comments made there, while we can bring them back, are not formally in the record, so people should need to also submit them to Kate and the clerk's office.
Correct. This whole rezoning process is not, it's been ongoing. It's what got me involved back in 2003 in the town board when I was asked to go to a town board meeting, and I went to a town board meeting like yourself and asked a question and found out I couldn't ask a question, and but I went out and found my answers and got me involved. That led to a new comprehensive plan in 2006, a new zoning code that was adopted in 2009. It was a full update in 2012, although many of the sections of the 2009 continued, but so much of it had changed. It was done as a full change. There have been additions of chapters. There have been 2 other zoning, and that 2009 was the result of a zoning review committee that met for almost 4 years. Since the 2000, I think it was 12 version, we have had 2 other committees take it on. And so this is the result of the work of those 2 committees, comments from the county planning board, comments from the local planning board, from code enforcement, from residents. Zoning is a sort of a free-flowing thing that changes because you can never predict the next thing somebody's going to come up with. And you know, when we wrote it, nobody had ever heard of Airbnb. Nobody had heard short-term rentals. Solar was not as big a deal as it is now. So these are just examples. Back then, the big deal was cell phones and telecommunications. Nobody wanted a cell tower, and now many people are fine with the cell tower because they want their cell phone to work. So broadband wasn't really heard of. So these are just examples of why a zoning code is constantly changing. So we're trying to get it as right as we can. We're trying to get as many comments back as we can. We welcome input in any form, whether it's individual one-on-one or from the forum or written comments. But as Michael said, to be part of the record of the review, it does need to be a formalized comment, either at public hearing, verbally, or in writing, or a submitted written comment. So being an audit meeting, it's not up for public comment. So what I'd ask next is we will go into review of our vouchers. And I thank you all for coming. One quick note, our next town board meeting is normally the first Thursday of the month. Because of a quorum issue, we moved to Tuesday of next week. So Tuesday at 6:30, the town board meeting will be here instead of Thursday.
Thank you all.
Thank you. I'm gonna let you guys say the bell, and I'm gonna go speak to this gentleman and answer his questions. Yeah, believe it or not, this is the most like boring YouTube video to watch every. Since we broadcast our meeting.
Start early. I do it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kidding.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone.
Good, you guys got mine out?
We're gonna. Yeah, that. All right, have a good night.
One more thing. That's one step, one year that I'm gonna reverse this year. I don't think I can. That's enough. Well, I probably got it at the same time. 4:30.
Oh, yeah. I'm watching that. Every time they come by, I'm like, I'm sure it's part of the character. But they're looking to call it and
All right. That was our first house. It was so expensive and young to afford it. The house in the market was beautiful. It was unbelievable. Because I had a lot of paper. And we ran like literally the house. It was surrounded on three sides, but like it was like a 1 acre lot, like all three sides where there's a beautiful cemetery. There's no way.
yeah, good. You've got a lot of neighbors.
It wasn't that. Figure out there's something that's highlighted 541. I don't know why it's not even.
I'm sorry, Mike, what's your question?
Oh, it's probably because it goes under the.
You look at the next one?
Yeah, the 541 that's highlighted there is in the total. It's the only one that's not in the total. Yeah, one of them.
That's the general town charge, so that doesn't come out of the street lighting account, that comes out of the general.
Okay, so where's the 191 or whatever that's in the total? I didn't see that one highlighted.
There's only 3. This is the community center. There is no 191, I don't know which.
It's on the front page. The total of the bill. We have it on. We have a check next to all of them on the right.
193.55. What is part of this adjustment? I just don't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not entirely sure either. Some of this is because of, the overlap of
Yeah.
teaching staff, and Tim did this one, not Seth. Seth did this with Tim there. I'm gonna have to figure it out, Michael, because I don't know where it comes from. The other. So street lighting bill, we have. The street lighting accounts for. Firmware lighting, so it's 41. Is this, are you in the, is it from the general fund or from the street lighting fund?
The general.
Oh, well then that explains it more. $14.92.65. 396.26. 37.67. 737. Oh, there's 518. It's a different account line. That's the general township. I don't know why it's only made up to 193.55 instead of 541.09.
Just came back.
It appears we may have underpaid it, Michael. Well, I'll have to figure it out. Okay. But it appears we may have underpaid it. You can sign up on the amount we're paying. I mean, whether, if we underpaid it.
Do you want me to mark it anyway?
No, I'll look at it tomorrow and try to make that detail of it. It's from 2 weeks ago, and it made sense at the time, but I don't know where that 193 came from. Okay. I'm just gonna have to go back and sort it out. The whole next half Central Hudson.
I still haven't gotten my Central Hudson bill since October.
Go online and download it. It's the only way you're gonna get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then tell them to turn you back on. When you go online, turn yourself back on for paper bills.
Okay.
The only way I can figure out. We had to do it for our lighting bill. You know, lighting. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. So the non-conforming uses. So the uses were already included. So non-conforming uses. I don't know if they were one. Probably they were. You know, if that goes, you know, we're still gonna continue to do that. That's the other is, you know, that setback, and they go about in the animal husband. Not if you're if it's sort of as district, then so we are trying not to encourage animals to live off it, but because there's you already have it. Right, so if they're already there. The change is, some people, well, yeah, if you already have it, that would be enough. If you want to expand it, then that would be it. Doesn't change anything. If you let's say one of them is the house, and you don't want we can say, well, you can go out one. But because you're not asking for it, we're not forcing it to because if you usually want to do then five, you have to do five also. You should put yeah, oh, there used to be there was one Thank you for understanding. Thank you, what about?
No. This is an issue.
I understand it.
Yeah. So my day.
To sign the refund for the balance.
Yeah, if you would, because that way it's just a notation that we acknowledged it. So if we get a bill in the future for it, we can go, hey, we already paid that bill.
Okay, did you not do, very not do a hotel? It was paying?
Yes, that was paid on the credit card. That was prepaid on the credit card. And I'm gonna be, once we pay these bills, I'm gonna consolidate everything and I'll be sending the bill to Marble County personnel for their portion of all this.
Okay.
Mike, this is the first. Mike Dunham didn't go to that trainings, but this was an agricultural one that Jeremy was lacking on, so.
What is that split for 3 ways, like 30?
No, it's by percentage of parcels. We pay the percentages. I don't know what they're on top of here. I'd have to look it up.
Oh, everything related to the training, okay. Proportionate.
All our, it's the same way we pay, we bill our health insurance, everything involving the assessor that's a bill. We split by the percentages that are dictated by the agreement, which is by the number of parcels in each town. That's how we set it up.
And in this case, we're paying this first. Do they ever pay it first when we reimburse them?
This is the first. This has never happened before. So the health insurance, we always pay first. Jeremy just gave me everything about this. I did it this way because we do the health insurance this way. It just makes sense to do everything the same way. That we pay the bill and then they reimburse us.
And do we have some kind of shared services agreement that covers this
We
stuff?
have a contract with them that we approved when the assessor is a 7-year term, and every 7 years we'll approve that. So I think we got 4 more years.
So they don't have to sign off on it.
No, just send them a bill, and when they do their vouchers, they'll approve the payment to the town of Rochester. Yeah. Normally, it's just the health insurance.
You start with that.
No. I'll do that.
No problem.
No,
My speed.
not at all.
Take some of it.
No.
No, they're
I'll
just
come back
figuring,
in a minute.
they were just figuring out which ones were done.
Real day today, so.
You guys done with any of them yet?
No. You do have to stay in.
Thursday and Thursday. So
You get an extra day.
I don't want it.
Well, you can do all these.
Work.
Well, 27.
They. Tomorrow. That's how they go. So you said, Mike, they should have my bill on the website if I go on. Then I can read your paper.
That's how we got the street lighting bills.
Or when you went there, it was up there. They just had it.
Well, I asked our local rep why, because we hadn't received it in like 9 months. You'll see that some of those when you do the street lighting, you'll see we're paying October, November, December this year, but it's too late to use last year's money. So he went online, he said they're all there. So I went online and downloaded them. And then we also changed our account to paper only
So they did break it down by the month. They had three.
I got a separate one for each month. Yeah, that's how they're treating the residential too. When I got my personal bill, I got one, and same for the town bills. I got one for each month. But you do have to look from month to month to month, especially if you have the community solar, because your credits, because Nexamp wasn't getting, well, in our case, Nexamp, because Nexamp wasn't getting the payments and the information from Central Hudson. They didn't know what to credit us. So it was retroactive. And then when it became retroactive, Central Hudson did a second bill for the same month. It was really confusing. But I literally put them for each of our, 10 accounts that we have. I put them all on the table and went month, and it actually, the math worked out. Because, yeah, just had to sort through it.
Are they able to do that?
But,
They charge a very high hourly rate.
well, I just wanted to know that it was right.
So I want to, I'm sure it's gonna be a big bill from October.
Well, it wasn't as big for us as I thought it would be because we had already paid. Nexamp, remember Nexamp estimated.
I didn't.
Oh, then you're gonna owe the bill. Well, you're gonna owe Nexamp some, because Nexamp is still gonna have credit. Whether you paid Nexamp or not, they issued the credit to Central Hudson, so you're still gonna owe. You're gonna owe a big bill, but you're gonna owe something Nexamp. So
I'm earning interest on it.
yeah, that's why anybody who called me, I advise make a payment of some, because at least that was something. On for it. I've looked at a couple of people's bills for them. Every one of them I've looked at has, the math isn't right. It's just a matter of, you gotta sort through and figure it out.
Yeah.
But you just gotta lay them all out as one series of bills and not look at, don't look at the total of each one, look at the total of the last one. But start from the very first bill and work forward, and you'll see that it actually is usually correct.
I don't want to spend my weekend.
Yeah. It didn't take me that long. I did our 10 accounts in about an hour.
Yeah, but I have to print things like 10 times
Oh.
for every one page from the other.
Oh, well,
Because there are a few times.
that one I can't help you. You don't try to look at them online. You'll drive yourself crazy. Print them out. Or have 10 computers and put one on each computer.
Or just pay it and just trust it.
There is that.
Mike told me it was good.
Yeah. You'll be the one person that there was a mistake.
I'll see what the number says.
Now I question some of their non-meter readings of estimated usage, but that's a whole other story. But they are reading meters. And I'm told Senator Hinchy is working on introducing legislation that do not allow estimated readings. Because I noticed the estimated readings seem to be high when it's a high month of cost for the actual delivery.
Yeah.
Which is the one that's right. I always confuse. One is regulated and one is not. Delivery is regulated? Yeah, the delivery is regulated. The cost of the electricity is the one that flows by the market. But they did send out memos or letters or whatever that they are no longer not putting on late fees.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it's as of August 1st. I could be wrong. Maybe it's September.
soon, 7/22/27,
No,
2/7/22.
just every once in a while, the bottom of 7 comes around a little bit, but I still see definitely 7.
A little one in there.
It's okay. The other day I kept one sign 7/22/22 was throwing. So
Like when you say a word about something.
it's that green pen.
See that?
Now in this world, 3, the most probably less.
It's an error, but the engagement. Oh, it's on Facebook. Okay, it's true.
Oh,
Just
I did see that. I didn't know.
apparently. Their template.
I could
You dated
feel
it, but there's no
the
signature.
first,
circle.
who was first
Aaron
Aaron.
and Alpha Plus, right?
Yeah.
Sugar.
It's that seat. That's where Chris used to sit. Chris would always catch.
Eagle Eye Hewitt.
The legislature doesn't have to sign every bill that the county. They're able to have a county finance director.
That'd be a tough afternoon.
It might be a tough week. It might be a week. But we don't have to. We can make an audit committee of 3 board members and take a report back. But
Right.
I kind of like this. We've always done it this way. Although at one time they used to pass them around one by one to each board
Oh, really?
for a brief period of time. And then Brian started coming in early so he could sign in before everybody else. And then somebody else started coming in.
And Mike signed both the vouchers, so I signed both the vouchers. I signed the top voucher.
Yeah, you don't need to sign the full.
Okay.
The bottom one is just my voucher to set. Which one is that for?
Jeremy.
Yeah. That was just me creating the bill. That's okay. Too many signatures is better than nothing. Blue just evolved because we got a ream of blue paper that we didn't order. And we started using it so you can differentiate between the general and the highway. So now we've discontinued it.
So when I took over this new office, they had a company-wide printing station as part of the office that kind of got discontinued. As we went paperless and digital, I have hundreds of reams of different paper, and I donated a lot of it. You know, holiday stuff and different stuff. Now I get all this colored paper. If it's even a shade or two away from this, I don't know.
It'll work.
I'll bring that down, 'cause it's just clogging up office space. I can do it.
Dump your own garbage.
Exactly, my dozen reams of blue paper that I'll never use.
We gotta do a resolution to accept the donation.
Except for donation, alright. Next time I'm up there, want pink or purple too?
I'm sure the other departments will use other colors occasionally.
In the school and with a bunch of it, the Rochester church and with a bunch of it. So there's,
Yeah, the original blue paper was cardstock. You probably remember those. We actually used that up, so now we're actually buying. Michael, do you have, is that next step bill handy? Something just popped into my head, and I think I may know the answer to your question. Yeah.
Central Flux one working on it.
Well, this was a prepaid. It's been in the very first bill. Yep, that's it. We click with those. Yeah, too much for that. Here, Adam, you want to put this back in front?
The summer program.
What's that?
Something upkeeping.
Yep.
In the summer program.
Yeah, that was a ceramics. Studio. They went for that as a-
Pottery.
They've gotten very creative with some of their trips.
Look around, see if anything came back.
I don't know if it was a pottery class or what. It's the summer program is over there. We're our third week already. Oh yeah, next week is their week off. Wow. Halfway done. Wow, that's hard to believe.
We give the thing for it too. On that one. Only be on lookout for it.
Oh, at the beginning?
Yeah.
That's a flourish. That's a clear flourish.
They want to do the best.
I wouldn't have known they would,
I would allow it. I would have debated it.
hanging Chad, is that what that is?
But not.
All the other ones, sharp down with snow.
If you're gonna get one on me, it's do with it. That was,
That one wasn't.
that's because he never catches them.
I don't get them.
I'm saying,
He's caught a couple of things.
being magnanimous.
Everybody has caught something.
You catch most of it though.
I
Yeah,
caught
I
a
was gonna
penny
say,
today
Yeah, I see. Or maybe not this one.
on the highway.
Yeah, I'm on that one. And it.
My dog caught a grasshopper mid-air.
Oh, wow.
Had this very confused look and then gingerly walked over and spit it on the driveway.
Oh, didn't know what to do. Caught it, now what do I do?
Grasshopper didn't know what to drive.
Which dog?
She was a little. not good.
That was staring at the wall. It was this little teeny tiny ant crawling up the wall. And, you know, unless you were 2 inches away, 3 inches away from the wall, as a human, you couldn't spot it. But she spotted it. She's staring. What are you staring at?
No.
She saw it. She didn't do anything about it, but she saw it.
I had a place once where we had a rat infestation in an exterior air conditioning unit that somehow accessed the house. At one point, a rat came in, walked right in front of where we were sitting, and we had 2 dogs and a cat, and nobody got up chasing that. I had to get up. What are we even having?
We were leaving the back door open, supposed to go in and out, because every once in a while, you just see there's a bell that hangs on the back door and he rings the bell to let him out, and we left the door open. 20 minutes later, see a chipmunk in the living room, and I'm like, yeah, you're kidding me now. And then the dog wants nothing to do with it, the cat doesn't want anything to do with it, Jamie screaming and yelling, it's just a chipmunk. She wasn't going for that long.
That's funny. I'm surprised Dot didn't go get it.
And didn't want anything to do with it.
She's the big hunter.
I found
Adam's cat, like, will not stay at the house overnight. If she's gotta go out.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's a We don't have any mice problems, we don't have any, not any anything problems.
He's like, let me out. I'll see you in the morning. I'm hungry.
Bring them back, so our driveway looks like a battle. I'm not, let me ask you a question. What number? In your eyes, if that's the
At
feeling,
two.
It is, right?
Totally.
I wanted the second one before I sent that one back. The second, it's a flourish.
Two.
Flourish.
It was nothing like the seven. People are very consistent in hearing.
Not me.
Mm.
They all read like ransom notes. I have an issue with the plow I have for the driveway. The mice keep getting in the electronics compartment, so I check it periodically. Open it up sometimes, turn up a new nest in there. Start moving it around. I'm like, there's a snake. There's no mouse.
Oh, wow.
Hey, this relaxing. A garter snake. So he took care of the mouse, but then didn't want to leave it for one. So you gotta get out of here.
I opened up my electrical panel one day, to find that a snake had gone in there and shed its skin. And he had wrapped himself and managed to miss the lugs.
Yeah.
He was like
Lucky.
fraction. Well, I was thinking about it though. I don't know if the snake would conduct electricity if they touched between two lugs. I know a human would. I don't know if the snake would. Because the human does, because we ground us. The snake was there, I don't know. If it would. But there was this perfect snake skin shed in my electrical box.
I don't think it would.
I think so too. I had my dog at the time though, when I took the skin out, I left it in the garage and the dog would go. He'd be like, oh.
I was the electric utility, every once in a while, it's full with like tea. Vaporize.
Oh, yeah.
Really? What do you do?
You get bear on your property, Adam? I have not seen a bear yet.
My new tenant, Mr. Saugers, now living next door, texted me at 11 o'clock at night. He says, do you know any bears in the run? I said, not normally. He goes, well, this is abnormal. Then he goes, I'm in the garage. He goes, locked in the garage. The bear's out there in the dark. He's out in the garage doing something. The bear came over and tipped over the thing. I said, do you need me to call anybody? He goes, no. He goes, I'll be okay. He's just like, I just want to know if this is going to be a regular occurrence. I said, every couple of years, you know, we get the garbage torn up into the woods.
I haven't seen one at all this year.
Yeah. Molly yelled at me one night.
I imagine you get them.
Not that often, surprisingly, but
Well, you're kind of down in the valley.
I pushed it. I took the bag of garbage out, but instead of taking it one can, I just set it outside the door. I said, okay, that's it. And so we have a window right by the door. After the dogs are freaking out. I don't know, and then Molly said, there's an enormous bear outside, right outside the front door. Probably like a 500-pound bear just going to town. So I opened the door. I'm like, what are you doing? Runs off,
Yeah.
turns around, looks at me. I'm like, no, keep going.
Yeah. They usually don't want anything to do with the past. When my dad was still living that day, I was in my bedroom and he was in the living room. Very calmly goes, bear on the deck. My dad could be a big practical joker sometimes. So I'm coming out. What did you say, Dad? Because I was doing something. And I'm like, you just said it's bear on the deck? I better go check. Sure enough, the bear come across the front deck, went around the backside, came over by the kitchen, just checking stuff out, wandered off. But he or she had an ear tag with both ears, so clearly they were had been trapped numerous times.
Worst I ever had when my parents had the mountain bike shop when I was a kid. Hunter Mountain opened up in the summertime for mountain biking. There's trails, you can buy a day pass and take lift up with your bike and ride the trails now. It just opened up, so they offered local bike shops to come check it out. There's one up there, there's nobody up there, it's middle of the summertime. And the trails weren't marked, no great, ended up on Hunter West on the backside of the mountain by accident. They come too far down to go back up, the trail kind of empty, there was nothing there. Kind of bushwhacking my way down through there and come around the corner and there's the biggest bear energy tub that I've ever saw. And I go, I can't go down because there's bears in front of me. I can't go back up to the ski area. I just sat there, you know, I gotta get down the bushes, but it terrified me. You sit there, you go, you don't even know what to do. You know, kind of in their environment. Different when they're on your front porch and you can bang some pots of sand.
Especially if they have cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought I'd be in trouble there. It chose to. But then I came down and talked to the guys running there. Oh, there's bears all over the place up there. I'm like, well, there's another sign that you guys don't have.
they're definitely becoming more prevalent. There was one year down at Rochester, had the most bears taken during the hunting season, any town in New York State.
My brother got one, and he has a lot of his stuff now. He goes to his taxidermy, and he says, "I'd like to get a full mount," but he goes, "I got nowhere in the house to put it." He said, "You know, Sean, if you were smart, you get it standing up. This position is like this. You'd have it hold your TV. You know, so it's head sticking up over the top." And stuff. I said that would be a cool mount. What else? He didn't.
Well, so now he's the great rabbit king.
I saw that. So my parents sit out back and they have these rabbits that come out and they talk to them and they go getting closer and closer. That one baby bunny, man, that thing just let him
I
pet
have a
him.
brother posted on Facebook, or his mother posted it, but it's his brother with a baby, and the baby just was sitting there and letting Sean pet it. Couldn't care less.
No, well, he was a little wild rabbit.
Yeah.
When's the County Fair? Next week?
Next week,
Weekend.
I think that's a week from today.
And,
I think, do they still do the carload thing on Tuesday night? I'm not sure. It's
No,
Wednesday through Sunday.
and a couple of years since we've been there now. We go for the code a couple of years. Before.
Oh, last year, it was open. The year before, I think it didn't exist. Because of COVID.
Of our easy pass and short term.
That's not in her name. You don't just, you never really know.
It's nice she's still here in one way or two. It's just that her attention to.
Yeah. Probably still a few bills that come to that her attention, but as long as they get to the right office. So. Aaron, do you guys throw the 8 ball in the PD as well as the regulars?
We don't.
I grew up for the first time because I usually buy plants and I didn't like the looks of the regular zucchini,
Right.
so I bought the 8 ball. Picked our first one last night. I didn't see it buried way down in the bottom of the leaves. It's about the size of a softball. It's pretty big. What's the best way to cook it at that size?
So it's like that big?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to turn your oven on, I would stuff it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I would cut the top off the strip of eat out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I was thinking of slicing it and grilling the
Yeah,
slices.
you could, you can do that too.
Yeah.
They're great.
I wasn't crazy about doing it, but I just didn't like I was so late getting my garden going this year that I bought plants instead, even for zucchini, because I just said, I want to have them before August, so. I picked our first one last night, but it was like, oops, that one got away from me. I got another one coming. I swear it's growing like 2 inches a day.
Yeah.
Because I saw it Sunday and it was just barely starting to form, and last night it was only like golf ball size.
The ones we have that get too big, we sell them as doodle zucchini.
Oh, yeah,
And
there's
we
that.
charge way less for them, and
Yeah,
people who stylize them love
Yeah.
it. 'cause it's a
Yeah.
big deal.
yeah, that's a great idea. I've sliced them and made the equivalent of like eggplant parmesan, but not breading them and frying them. I'll throw them in the broiler when they get that big and broil them and then make zucchini parmesan. But the noodles a good idea. Doesn't want to come there, Michael. Oh. Well, I sent emails out several times, so. Oh, if you guys can sign the bottom of that sheet since for highway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't sign it either.
Is that a 21 or is that? I don't know, it's one of them.
You know what? Let me clean that up a little. I figured out. It's definitely a 7, and I think it's for a law.
I know.
It's a
Yeah.
7.
You got a little typo. You kind of boxed yourself in.
Serving now, Michael Cole. Like a tennis, I do. I feel like the tennis official here. Wait, let me get a high stool.
No.
Which one of you is going to be John McEnroe?
Spike in the rack.
Did Jamie do the preliminary?
Yeah, she had a great first day. Matter of fact, she was tied inside the top 10 after day 1. And had like around her life. She had a tough day, day number 2, which was actually Green Acres up in Peace. They didn't realize they were making them play from the back tee. That kind of caught up with her.
Ooh,
And then she had a good day on Saturday. She knocked a ton of strokes off of last year, but still not happy where she's at. Actually, Maddie beat her on Saturday. So he's chasing Maddie in the tops and downs.
bragging rights.
Yeah, exactly. And girl hits the ball a long way. Tough to keep up with her.
There's a chainsaw.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a big one. Didn't say what size. did it?
No.
I know we haven't bowled in a while.
Valuable animal.
Yeah.
I found page number.
You did?
It says 54109, which is one of the charges subtracted with the credit that we have,
Uh-huh.
got combined in one line. So,
The credit that went to the street lighting,
so
right?
the credit got applied
To the
to
general street lighting.
this one.
Is that the
This
general?
is general town charge.
Yeah, that's general. Street.
So
Okay.
that's
But
where
now we know the
that
answer.
came out to 190.
Yeah, that's the credits from the next set, from the previous payments for this.
Okay,
Okay, now at least we know the
so
answer.
we'll pay it, but then it's short or no?
No, it'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
It's just,
Oh, I see.
next step as a whole, but within our own
Within our-
budgeting,
Okay,
it got credited to the street lighting general fund when it should have been credited to the
got
so, I think.
Oh.
I'll have to double check where the credit, if the credits came from general street lighting, then it was the right place.
it. Yeah, I don't know what that can be.
I don't think the credits differentiated as to which account they were from.
Okay,
So,
but that's where that comes from.
okay, well, it's, the general fund is correct then, just maybe in that budget line is not correct.
Okay.
Means the Central Hudson buildings line paid more and the Central Hudson street lighting paid less. I'll have to look at it and see if I can differentiate. We can
Yeah,
always
okay.
just, the total amount is correct,
Yeah.
and it's out of the general fund.
Yeah.
So it's just a
Okay.
matter of which budget line it came out of. You can do a journal adjustment to correct if it came out of one budget line. Good catch, though. Thank you. I knew it made sense at the time, but I just didn't remember.
I know it. When I did the other one, I was like, could see all of them, and I was like, I wonder if all of them got accounted because I saw that credit. So I had a hunch, but I had to add it up to it. Because the credit wasn't on the other street.
Right. Oh, because the credit was the prepaid. No.
Credit got applied as the payment
Yeah,
to the payment.
got it.
Oh, good news too, the, week of the 25th, but I'm going to Chicago, so I'm still in Austin, or it's not the 25th, I think it's the 29th. But, and that should be our workshop, or our, yeah, it should be our audit meeting, so 25th, 26th, anyway, that Thursday. So that should be our
Our
workshop.
workshop meeting is 25th.
Hang on right here.
Oh, no, our audit meetings.
Right.
When's the workshop? Oh,
We got the second?
17th.
With the 7th, I'll be here for the 17th. I won't be here on the 25th.
And then the next, and then the regular meeting is September 1st.
Oh, yeah.
2/27.
Oh. No, you're right. I might have started doing that actually, like from here on out. Did I do that?
Well, this one's right.
I still have no issue. Here,
No, you got back on track.
are you sure? 'Cause I
Well,
think
so
I-
far, I mean, I'll let
I
you
know.
know.
Well, you're not looking at.
So far, I only see
Okay.
2.
All right. Well, you know what? I have faith that you will catch every single one.
I will.
There's another one.
Have this in bed though.
Acting out of our lesser selves.
Splinter in your own eye.
Okay.
That
Perfect timing before. we-
I know. That was so good.
You just keep one in there.
You were just recognizing the crickets.
Exactly. Let's just recognize the cricket from Allergerville, the comments and choice on the field. He's filibustering right now. Thinking about next year, we go through a yearly contract, we inform US sign this every month. Paying one fee for the year, one voucher.
Well, they, it's not really a contract, it's a service.
And it's whatever's there.
They do our rug.
Yeah, this one's always for the road.
Oh, right. Yeah, we talked about that.
Red, golden, brown mats.
Well, I've actually thought we should just buy them.
Yeah, I'm just tired of finding that out regularly. I don't know why that one bothers me.
Well,
Now there's two of them.
well, that's because we got the other invoice yesterday.
Yeah.
It's every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So normally we get four bills.
You know, there was a aquarium in Rotterdam.
Yeah, we've gone a couple times to it 2 years ago.
You ever been to the Syracuse Zoo?
No,
spectacular. One of the best schools we've ever been to. They're that way, very inexpensive, spent 2 hours there, really. Nice.
You're doing the office and taking the local thing.
Sometimes I like to go to a zoo, Mike.
You know, when I used to travel up to work, some of my places I would go when I got some downtime up to Columbus. Really good too. Columbus, Ohio.
You ever been to the National Zoo in DC?
No, haven't been there.
No, I never think of a trip in DC.
I went to the San Diego,
San Diego Zoo is awesome.
Baltimore Aquarium is pretty.
And we got us a early morning VIP tour, which is all these people. And we got a chance to go through the whole place. And with a private guide, so
In Baltimore?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very.
Yeah, I tried to go one time in the morning and the wait list was like a 2 hour wait. I came back in the afternoon, there was nobody on the wait list. So,
The San Diego Zoo is amazing.
yeah,
Somebody told us that we found that there's a white tablecloth cocktail bar at the top of this tree house in the like the gorilla area.
good.
Yeah, and like nobody knows about it. We're talking to somebody, you go up the thing, and next thing you're in the tree and they're overlooking all the exhibits. Yeah. Really nice. That place is humongous though. A lot of
It
water
is
there.
big. You know where else is good? It's overlooked a lot of Animal Kingdom in Orlando, to Disney. There's so many people go to Disney or Epcot. Animal Kingdom is fun.
Yeah, that they have that hotel that it's like surrounds like a little mini Serengeti. The animals are out
Yep,
there all
yep,
day.
yeah.
I love that room. Open your window and see the giraffe. But that truck tour they do there is impressive.
Yeah, I didn't do the truck tour. I did the small scale rail trip they have to do there.
Oh yeah. That's what I told you do. For all of that. See, inside or outside?
I think I'll be under the mold.
The last one. Got it. There we go.
Pen's back. I'm gonna steal the blue one, because I forgot my pen. Whoever becomes supervisor after me has to continue the Brian Drafkin legacy. Every time I tell people though why we do different colors, they're like, that makes so much sense. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know why nobody else, Brian was just like, he had his share of outlandish ideas. Every once in a while, that makes so much sense. We used to sit there and go, okay, whose signature's missing? Who didn't sign this one? Who didn't sign this one? Now it's just like, probably will be the last month of this big highway house.
Yeah.
But Jeff said we got about 600,000 coming back to church. We gotta see in October, maybe September.
Here's a new Facebook scam, and he's on Facebook pretending to be me. Created an Adam Haddock profile.
Oh, yeah, it's,
And a
it
friend
happens. I
request.
get so many friend requests. I didn't get one from you.
No, thanks.
I felt left out. I get them from people all the time, and then I go to their site and go, I'm still friends with this person. So, no,
Think of a regular friends account and a business account, but now there's one that's got like no information on it. And friend requesting everybody. Sounds nefarious.
you can probably just go on and delete it.
Delete them. I reported
Delete
it.
the account, yeah.
But I'm moving as fast as I want.
Well, I created that account to
Did you?
take some pressure off. You.
You the
Yeah.
sub account?
Yeah.
Yeah. Handle some of my dinner pictures.
I did that back in the
Yeah,
days.
nice
of, back in the days of MySpace, I did that, my rename. And had a lot of people like connected to it. And it was a little different. I thought it was like, and then one day somebody went, I follow you on MySpace. I said, "Oh, no." It was smooth, and they pulled it up. And they said,
Yeah.
I think he knew it.
You ever go and check and see if you still have MySpace?
I tried to get back into it because it's so good. I think I used an old email. Back when the internet was in place.
That was the place was the Wild West back then.
I was innocent when I used to go on dial-up.
You would.
Yeah, I was. Things flex. How do I? Press there?
Yeah.
That's, people always say, why do you keep an AOL account? That's because I've had it for 35 years and everybody has it.
Do the same thing with my CompuServe.
I don't pay for it though. Some people I just don't pay for.
Really? And when you get the 10 free hours of AOL. You get the
The little
disc, you get the disc, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, during the hurricanes, I was updating from my car the whole time because I could, the power lines were down, the phone lines were down, but the phone lines were still working. I was updating on AOL during the hurricanes.
Yeah, I remember when I
On
first
the
started
tablet.
dating Jamie and I'd go over to her parents' house, on the refrigerator was their AOL bill by child. You know, it's like Ashley owes $12, TJ owes $32.50, and Jamie owes $648. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Back when you went over those 10 hours, man, it got expensive.
No, for the longest time, you know, I'd get, you're working on a show, new show, and I'd get the designer saying, and I email you the paperwork, and I said, you can, but you might as well FedEx it to me. And they're like, really? You want paper? And I'm like, well, if you email it to me, I'll still be waiting for it tomorrow. FedEx it to me, I'll have it tomorrow morning. So you might as well FedEx. If you go to download, you go 27 hours later. It's like,
Yeah. Remember Napster or BearShare and being able to like get music for the first time online. Like, I want these 3 songs for like 6 hours. 6 hours to download these 3
I
songs.
never downloaded.
You know, it was only.
Well, with the guys from Metallica told us. I don't know if
Last email.
He did. No, he told me specifically while I was watching Yo MTV Raps.
So remember when MTV started? First video on MTV,
The bundles.
video killed the radio star.
Remember, if you watched it long enough, they would just repeat them. There's only like 10 videos.
Yeah.
So if you watch for like 45 minutes, it just kind of start over.
Bunch out to that. I worked on.
Did you really? Oh, yeah.
Take that name.
Come on. Let's go. Like the whole Azul the track. Cat.
Yeah.
Google search the exotic birds, no communication.
Exotic birds, no communication.
It's like a video documentary. Shot on the stage at Sea
Video bird?
exotic birds.
Exotic bird.
Some of the musicians went out and recorded college
Oh, really?
later in life, not in the original.
American synth pop music group formed in Cleveland, Ohio, in '82. Briefly Institute of Music percussion students. Anthony founded Zuski, Freer, and Timothy Adams Jr. wrote their own music. Describes as synth pop dance. Was he both from Cleveland?
Yeah, from Long Island.
Yeah, everybody knows Cleveland rocks. The first one was Dance the Night Away. You know why? Actually, the backup band for the 1987 movie Light of Day, pretty much Jay Fox and Jane Jeff. And your boy Kubazinski played on 9 Inch Nails track.
Well, maybe it was not the fun. Maybe it was- You can probably actually find the video.
He's got everything, that's for sure.
But Tracy and I were watching the Hulu thing. It's a 3-part series on Victoria's Secret and tied to Jeffrey Epstein, but the owner of Victoria's Secret gave Jeffrey Epstein like power of attorney over all his stuff. Yeah, it's very odd. The whole documentary is very odd. It makes you end up asking more questions than you know. But we're watching it, and the very first Victoria's Secret fashion show, which became like what? The very first one, nobody did lingerie fashion shows back then. Back then I was on fashion show.
Yeah.
I'm watching the video and I'm going, I'm running the whiteboard right now for that fashion show that's on TV.
That's great.
1995.
It's amazing. There's so many good documentaries out there.
So we're watching the credits and she goes, your name's not mentioned. And I said, they don't know who we're pitching about.
Thank goodness on that
But
one.
it was amazing.
That one you don't want to be in the credit. Did you see the Action Park documentary?
No.
That was our summer spot. We were like 17, 18, 19. We were allowed to drive. And that thing was called the documentary was Class Action Park. I still
Oh, yeah.
I still have scars from some of the rides. The show people flying out of the thing.
Stay another 2 hours.
Yeah, Matt Scherzer. An uphill battle for these 7 in.
Okay, Judge will get up and look.
I can't believe how big Judge is. Alonso was a monster, human being. Good, and standing on first base next to him last night, just worked them. Good. The guy Rizzo also.
Thank you, Chicago. Okay. As for recommended resolution, town board approves payment of abstract 7, correct that, fix the header. 2022 in the amount of highway fund $149,255.38. General fund $77,633.92. Street lighting fund $2,035.60. Escrow fund $12,384.73. That motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
okay.